Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the gearing. And I know what you're probably thinking is, why? And the answer is, you're right, why? But yeah, somebody asked me the other day in a comment, they said, hey, is the gearing still viable in 2025? And I'm like, well, yes, but I understand why you're asking the question. The ship is fine. The problem is that there's one completely oppressive thing that exists, and Wargaming has done nothing about it. And it's been around for too long now. So hopefully, Wargaming will get their together and fix the problem. And it's not the gearing, it's not any of the other destroyers, it's literally just the Gdansk. But anyway, before we get into it, I didn't show the build for this. It's just a straight up Mordoff build. I didn't go for full like HP build. You guys know me. I like to kind of mix it up a little bit. Go with a little bit more concealment as a gunboat to try to get up close and personal. Help get rid of other destroyers. But yeah. So that's what we're at. And you can see I don't have that much hit points, especially for a gunboat. Now, if there's one thing that I think that they could potentially buff on the gearing, it is its hit points. I think the guns are fine. I think the rate of fire is fine. I think one of the best things about the gearing is, while it doesn't have the high top speed that a lot of destroyers do, specifically gunboat destroyers, and that's one of its biggest downsides for me, the biggest thing that I think that they could potentially buff to give this thing a little bit more health would do wonders for this thing. But it is very, very agile, which is something that I think a lot of people overlook about the American gunboats, is how agile they truly are. Like, especially at legendary tier, that's a unique thing about the American gunboat. And a lot of people don't understand that, because you get into these high tier, legendary tier stuff, and most of the time, you get into the top tier gunboats and stuff, and they're so sluggish when it comes to turning. The Americans don't have that issue, but this four vampire's about to get yeeted. This man walked into the wrong bar fight, alright? He thought he was the guy. He was wrong. Now, obviously, we had a little bit of help from people behind me, but, I mean, I hit that man for 14,000 damage before he even knew what hit him. Right? He got like 2 shots off, and he's like, holy crap, what did I walk into? Exactly. That is the power of a true gunboat, and make no mistakes about it, while this thing does have good torpedoes, and it is very effective at area denial, as you can see by us launching a wall of skill out to freaking 16 kilometers, gearing torps, they don't stop. They just keep going, right? They are the Energizer Bunny of torpedoes. Now, sure, there are some torpedoes out there that go a little bit further now, but most of those are Japanese that are, like, launched from cruiser. Anyway, from a destroyer perspective, the gunboat of the gearing is still a good gunboat. Obviously, if you want to build into some HP, you could get a little bit more health on this thing, and that does help specifically against certain ships like Cabas and Club Bears and the Lashun and the Z-52 and the Gdansk and all these freaking other destroyers that have big radars and sonars and, you know, things that light you up from smoke screens. That the gearing just doesn't have that. The gearing relies solely on just raw damage output. That's it. And when you have to rely on just raw damage output, what you end up with is a situation where you can be overwhelmed quite quickly against other gunboats that have those gimmicks. Now, Kaba's just a tank, alright? And the gearing absolutely can go toe-to-toe with a Kaba. As long as the Kaba's an idiot and goes broadside and allows you to use that AP, like I'm doing against this Lepanto right now, this AP will shred a Kaba if given an opportunity. I've done it many a times. Many a poor Kaba player has decided to go broadside to get their full firepower on, only to manage to get themselves into trouble. But you can see that the downside is, like, in this particular battle, while I'm trying to showcase just how nasty this ship is, we're going to end up with too much help. We were hoping to be able to dakka a little bit, but there's nobody left. Like, we murdered their destroyer. Their one battleship ran away bravely. The other battleship turned and ran into our torpedoes, came in, went full broadside to our team, and got yeeted. So there's really, like, you're limited by just how quickly you can just murder everything around you. Now, obviously, the caveat to that is, like, you're kind of a sitting duck against all of the gimmick boats, right? Like a well-played gimmick of being able to smoke sonar or smoke radar is just so incredibly powerful. And when wargaming can't figure out how to balance things properly the first time, rather than waiting 8 months or a year to balance something that should have been balanced before it was released, because they have fucking testers, and anybody with a fucking brain in their head can go, this might be a little too strong. I don't want to, like, point any fingers or anything, but good God, giving a ship like 30,000 hit points, the same, well, almost the same DPM as the gearing, and having the world's strongest HE, and having a smoke screen, and having a radar, and having a skill in a ship that allows you to extend the duration of that radar, seems a bit strong. I don't want to, point fingers, but good God, where's the downside? It's the same thing that I said from the get-go. Those destroyers are so incredibly busted, it's absurd. And they've been left that way for so long. So I understand why people are like, is the gearing viable? Well, the answer is yes, the gearing is still viable. But you just got to avoid the Pan-Euro destroyers with radars, at least until they get fixed. Like, they are going to get fixed. Make no mistake about it. They are going to get nerfed. It's just a matter of time. I don't know if the destroyers themselves will get nerfed, or if it'll be the Fox Flare perk specifically, but I would assume the Fox Flare perk is getting nerfed. Or just removed altogether. It would not surprise me if they just removed that altogether and stopped them from being able to extend the duration of that radar, because it's stupid. They have ridiculous smoke, they have ridiculous radar, they have ridiculous firepower, they have, like, there's really no downside to them. Good HP on them, good DPM. The torps are decently hard-hitting. They're, like, I think medium speed torps. I don't think they're particularly slow torps. Like, there's really no downside to them. So I understand why people are asking the question, but that goes back to the same question that I asked when they first released those destroyers, which was, why would anybody play anything but those destroyers? At least until they're fixed. But you can see here, we start just open water gunboating against Preußen. Of course that gets the Worcester's attention. We knew that was coming. And Worcester thinks that he's that guy. And what he doesn't realize is, I'm not scared of you, Worcester. I'm in an American gunboat. You're at 10 kilometers away. You're going to struggle to hit me. Now, Preußen hits me, but he has railguns, for God's sakes. But as you can see, this Worcester gives up completely. He's like, I ain't shooting this freaking gearing. He can't hit me. Even at 10 kilometers, the man struggles to land a single shell against me when I'm moving, because I'm agile, because I'm decently quick. Like, he's just struggling, and he's just getting outgunned right now. Not just by me, obviously, but you saw how quickly he just abandoned hope. His shells are too slow, they're too floaty, he can't land a shot against the gearing, and that is the strength of the gearing, make no mistake. Now, there is a case to be made for a range build gearing right now. A lot of people like to talk about the range on the Kaaba and trying to go for oh my, speaking of gearing, there's a four bar health gearing, and both of us are kind of having the same idea where we're trying to, like, figure out what's going on, but we put a couple of shells into the gearing real quick, and our team fortunately helps take a lot of the health off of that man. But notice what I do next. We're proxy spotting the man through the mountain, and unfortunately our team just stopped shooting him. You can see he takes a little bit of damage here, but I was hoping my team would just finish him off. When that doesn't happen, I use the camera to look through the front guns, and then I catch the man come around the corner, and we finish him off with just the front guns there. Remember, most of your firepower is on the front anyway. So, and what that also does is keep us safe in case the man tried to torp us, right? But you can see how strong these ships are. And there is always going to be a place for a ship that's this agile, has this much firepower, and can spot and get up close and personal, because remember, like, I'm kind of a hybrid build. I don't have all the hit points, right? But I'm decently sneaky. I can get up close and personal before the destroyer, the Shimas and stuff, can have a chance to really react. And by the time that they can get their guns on target, if they're not, paying attention, this thing can be oppressive. But it does suffer from the drawback that it doesn't really have a gimmick. Its biggest gimmick is its agility. And that is the one thing that makes it stand out from a lot of the other legendary tier destroyers. Is that enough in 2025? I'll let you guys be the judge. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Does it need a buff to keep up with all of the gimmick boats? I don't know. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.